John Wayne Mullins, and today's day 47. 47 days I've been going live each and every night, and I'll tell you, it's certainly been a lot of fun thinking about what I'm going to be sharing and thinking what I'm going to be talking about as I go live each and every night in this season of who I'm becoming. And that's really what I want to be focusing my chat for the next 10 minutes about, is answering that question of who are you becoming. And I really want to focus this towards men, and really help you answer that question of, when you think about, when you in your day, when you have that quiet time, whether you're a journaler or you have those you take those 5 minutes out of your morning routine and answer that question. Think about this question: who are you becoming? And this is a question that I thought about a lot, especially when I was single, when I was building my business, when I became a husband, when I became a dad, is answering that question of, who am I becoming? Who do I want to become? What kind of husband do I want to be? What kind of business owner do I want to be? What kind of man do I want to be? What kind of dad do I want to be? And what I've learned about answering that question is, when you take time to answer that question, and only you can answer it, but when you take time to really answer that question, something powerful really happens. And something begins to shift in your mind from becoming goal focused to becoming growth focused. And when you do that, you become a lot more clear on who it is you want to become. In this last 30 days that I've been focusing on Mr. New Dad, and helping men transition into fatherhood, and making that transition from having no kids to now suddenly being a dad. One of the things kept coming up in a lot of my one-on-one discussions with people, when I would ask them, what kind of dad do you want to become? Who are you? And a lot of people don't know, and that's sad for me, but that's also encouraging for me, because it's something that I want to help men answer. But one thing was clear, and that was, they knew what kind of man or what kind of husband or dad they didn't want to become. They didn't want to be like their dad. And often that would lead into a further discussion about their childhood, or what they didn't like about it, or the way they were taught or treated. And that's all well and good, but it still doesn't really answer the question of, who are you becoming and who do you want to become? Does that make sense? And so, as I was preparing for tonight's talk, I really wanted to focus on, that dad, that husband, that man. And not necessarily it has to be a father or a new dad. It can be any man for that matter, and who is unsure about who he is becoming, or even who he wants to become. But I would encourage you that the more time that you really spend on answering that question and become more clear about it, you're going to start to look for ways to grow in those areas. And one of the books that I reference a lot is The 15 Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. This is one of my go-to books for anything involving personal growth. But in the very first chapter, he talks about the misconception that just because you grow older, just because you are growing, you may be maturing or you may be getting older, doesn't necessarily mean you are growing. And the same thing is, just because you are accomplishing goals and making moves doesn't necessarily mean you are growing. And it's in that mindset that where I think a lot of men get caught in this trap of, I'm accomplishing things, but I'm not growing. I'm not growing as a husband, as a man, as a dad. I'm not growing in these areas, but at the same time, they're still growing, or they're still accomplishing goals. So, growth doesn't just happen. It doesn't. What I've learned about anything about my time as a coach, as a dad, as a husband, as a coach, is that if you want to grow in any area of your life, you have to be intentional about that growth to occur. It's like planting a seed in the ground and expecting something to grow and expecting it to bear fruit. What is the end in mind? That's completely different than having a goal. I think joining those two is something that you should constantly be thinking about. But the more clear you are focused on the growth that you want to occur in your life, in your not only in your business or in your family, but you personally, the more clear that you can be about that, the more likely that you are able to accomplish that growth. Personal growth. I recently sat down with an organization who hired me to come in and help rewrite their human capital plan, rewrite their strategic plan, and really help develop their personnel and develop their mid-level managers. And it was a great 2 days offsite. It was a great 2 days of just strategizing and talking and putting everything out to paper. It was a lot of fun. And they even said that, like, oh, this is the greatest thing that we've needed, all year long. It's been, we've been meaning to do this. We know we needed to do it, but it just wasn't happening. And they had a lot of fun doing it. And I certainly don't mind doing that. But the minute that it came time to actually implement it and start working on it and start doing it, it was like pulling teeth. It takes work, especially in a culture where there are multiple people, multiple personalities, multiple beliefs. It takes time. It takes work. And it certainly takes a champion to push that agenda, to push that change, to push that initiative. It takes work. And I thrive in those communities. That's what I love about being a coach and a facilitator, is I can come in and help facilitate those conversations and work with people to help them understand hey, get your mindset off goals for a moment and figure out, hey, where are we trying to grow as our leaders? Where are we trying to grow as individuals? Where are we trying to grow as a company? The same thing can be said about you personally, as a dad, as a husband, as a man. Get your mindset off goals for momentarily. Where are you trying to grow? Who are you becoming? And the more, like I said, the more clear that you can become on that, then start developing those goals. Then start creating those milestones. But focus on the goal, or focus on the growth, because I think the more you do that, the more able you're going to be to develop those habits, develop those disciplines, and develop those disciplines that are going to help you accomplish and be that man, be that husband, or be that dad. Does that make sense? And so, yeah, I don't know who that was for, but it's something that I've been seeing this theme. I've been seeing this. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And like I said, this isn't necessarily just for the new dad. I think this is for any man in general who is trying to become that person, but maybe stuck in life, or maybe thinking that, hey, I got this job, or I'm 30 or 40 years old now, and I'm still struggling with these same habits, or I'm still struggling with these same mindset. I'm not growing. Growth and goals are not the same. They're really not. And so I certainly hope that this has been a challenge and encouragement talk for you. I do want to add 2 plugins. One, I have a webinar this Saturday with Ben Killoy, the dad coach, and we're going to be talking about how to not lose yourself as you become a dad. It's going to be a great talk. I have a lot of people coming to it. It's going to be on my LinkedIn channel, and I'll put this in put the link in the comments below, or you can email me or direct message me directly, and I'll get you the link over to that. Second, I have 2 coaching spots open in my time for the next 6 weeks. if this is something that you are struggling with, of trying to be intentional in your life, be intentional in your marriage, be intentional in yourself, and develop that man that you want to be, or if you are even having difficulty answering that question of who are you becoming, if you think about the road that you're on, are you happy where it's taking you? Is it taking you to where you want to be? That could be in your career, that could be in your life, that could be, in your life. Do you see where this road is taking you? And if you're not happy with that, or if you're not unsure how to get off this road or how to get on the right road towards developing that growth mindset and developing that growth as a man, as a dad, as a husband, as a business owner, give me a call. I'd love to help you. I'd love to kind of strategize with you and introduce you to some things that have helped me, and see if you might be a good fit for my coaching program. So until tomorrow, day 48, be awesome, be well, have a good night, everyone. Take care.